Hi, welcome to another IGCSE physics video. In this video, we're looking at a new chapter, which is thermal physics, section 2.1, which is the simple kinetic model of matter. This video is only part 1. The links to the other parts of section 2.1 will be linked in the description, so make sure to check them out for further learnings. In this video, we will learn about the general concept of what matter is, and we will also learn about the 3 basic types of matter, which are solids, liquids, and gases. So let's talk about what matter is. When we think about matter, we think about a substance that occupies some space and it has some mass. We know that we can find the mass of some object, for example, this marker that I'm using right now, using a balance, and let's say that this mass would be about 15 grams. Well, this would be the mass of this matter that I have here. Now, this marker that I have here also occupies a certain space, or the more formal term for space is also known as volume. So we could say that this marker also occupies some volume, and let's assume that this marker occupies a volume of, say, 10 cubic centimeters. Now, the marker is just a big example of what matter could be. Matter does not have to be made of a lot of atoms. It could be just a single atom as well. So if I have this atom that's in this empty space, it has some mass, which is very tiny, but it also occupies some volume or space. Now, if we assume that this atom that I said earlier was actually a proton, we could say that this proton has a mass of approximately 1.67 times 10 to the negative 27 kilograms. That would be the mass of this proton. Likewise, you can imagine that this proton has such a small mass, therefore it should also have a really small volume that it occupies. And then the concept of the states of matter comes in when you clump a lot of these atoms together and they form different states of matter. Now, there's a lot of chemistry behind this, but we're only going to look at the physics behind this. We're only going to explore the states of matter that these atoms can make up. Now that we have a general understanding of what matter is, let's talk about the 3 basic states of matter that atoms can make up. Take a moment to recall what these 3 states of matter are, and try to imagine what the particles behave like in these 3 different types of matter. So the first state of matter could be named as a solid. This marker that I have here is a solid. A second state of matter from the 3 basic states could be a liquid. Now, I have this glass of water here. I have some water in this glass, and this water inside is a liquid. And the final state of matter would be the gas. Now, you can imagine that the gas is just the atmosphere in which I'm working on this whiteboard right now. So I have this solid, which is this marker which I was writing with. I have this glass of water with some water in it. So I have these 3 states of matter with their examples, where the solid is the blue marker which I was writing with, and I have this glass of water which is filled with liquid. And finally, we have the gas, which cannot be seen. You can imagine that the air here is the gas. So I've given all the examples for each of these states of matter, but I haven't really described what the differences between each of these are. So earlier I gave an example that this marker is an example of a solid object. Think about why you think this object is a solid with scientific reasons. So the first thing that may come to your mind is that this solid object, which is the marker, it has a fixed shape and volume. We can see that because this object is not changing its volume, it's sitting in the same place, the volume is not increasing or decreasing. So this is a solid. And the shape is also the same. Now, another thing that you can investigate for this marker is, what do the atoms in this marker look like? How do the atoms in a solid behave? Well, the atoms in a solid are closely packed together. We can see that these particles can't really slide across each other. They're very closely packed and they can't move a lot. The only thing that these particles can do is vibrate in their fixed positions. So this particle can only vibrate in this position, while this particle in this corner can only vibrate in this position. They can't really pass each other, and even if they do, it's very rare because they're very closely packed. And another reason why the particles can only vibrate and they're super closely packed together in a fixed lattice is because the intermolecular forces of attraction between these particles is very strong. So in the example of this marker that I have here, the particles are closely packed together. They can, in this cap, they can only vibrate. They can't move out of their positions really. And they're also in a fixed lattice. And this is all due to the very strong attractive intermolecular forces between the particles. Now let's talk about the second state of matter in detail, which is the liquid. So earlier I gave the example of a liquid, which was this glass of water. And I'd like to ask you what you think the particles in this water behave like. Now the first thing that comes to my mind about this glass of water is that the water in this glass, it has a fixed volume, but it doesn't have a definite shape. And I'll just demonstrate it right now why it has indefinite shape. Because you can see that as I tilt this glass of water, the water is like changing in shape. It's not in a constant shape like this marker that I had. However, it does have the same volume, which is like around this level right now. Now let's take a look at what the particles in the water would look like as a liquid. So in the glass of water that I had, the particles would look something like this. We can tell straight away from the molecular model that the particles in the water, they don't make a certain shape like solids do. In the example of the marker, we said that solids form a lattice structure with their particles, whereas in this case we can see that there is no organization of the particles. They don't form a lattice structure like solids do. So we can infer that liquid particles, they don't have any fixed pattern. However, we can say that the particles are not as closely packed together because we can see that there are some small gaps between. Not big gaps, but still, there's some gaps between the particles, and they're still able to collide past each other or hit each other and bounce off, unlike solids which only vibrate in their fixed place. Now finally, we need to come up with a way to explain why particles in a liquid can slide past each other and why they're not as closely packed as solids. Well, the main reason for why that is because the intermolecular forces between the particles in a liquid are weaker. So the particles in this liquid have lesser attractive forces, specifically the intermolecular forces, than solids. These particles have more mobility and freedom to slide past each other, and they are less closely packed together than solids because of the weaker attractive intermolecular forces. Finally, let's talk about the third basic state of matter. That state of matter is gas. You can imagine that the air that I'm writing in right now, where I'm traveling my hand through, is a gas. Now for the sake of understanding how a gas behaves, let's place it in a container and represent it on a diagram. So let's say I have some invisible gas in this container, which is occupying this volume. We would think at first that the gas in this container will always occupy a constant volume. However, that is not the case. If you let a gas go in empty space, the volume will not always be the same, and therefore the shape will not be the same as well. So in the second scenario, if I open the lid off of this container, and I let the gas escape from this container, then the volume overall would increase as the gas would come outside of the container, as compared to the small volume which was previously in this container with the closed lid. So we can say that gases have an indefinite shape and volume, and in this case, the air that is surrounding me also has an indefinite shape and volume. If I were to have this container in space and I had some gas in it, it would be at a definite volume. However, if I let it go in an uncontained environment, then the gas would escape and it would expand until it became really less dense. In comparison to solids and liquids, the particles are quite far away, and there's almost no intermolecular forces between these particles, which is why they're so far away from each other. And these particles have a lot of energy compared to solids and liquids. Particles in a gas have very high kinetic energy, and they will rarely collide with each other because of the huge distances between them. And the main reason why the particles rarely collide with each other, and why the distances are so far apart between the particles, is because they're very high in energy, and also because there are almost no intermolecular forces of attraction. Keep in mind it's almost, not no. There's always some forces between particles, and the main reason why these particles have a lot of energy and why they rarely collide with each other is not only because of the distance between them. Instead, the distances between them is also partially because of the very little attractive intermolecular forces between these particles. So the attraction between these particles is so small that they rarely even get to come close together. Whereas if you look at liquids and gases, the intermolecular forces are stronger and the distances are much closer to each other in those states. And this is it for section 2.1 part 1. Leave a like if you found this video helpful and you now understand the states of matter and how the solids, liquids, and gases are all different from each other in many ways. Subscribe for more videos in the future and make sure to check out my videos in the description. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.